Here with my boy, Darian May, but you may know him as DJ Swayzee.
Oh, stop. They don't call me that.
DJ Swayzee. Dude, Swayzee was an awesome name to pick. Tell us, how did you get to the name Swayzee?
I really didn't want it at first, honestly. So, like, I was going by, I don't know, people, whatever, whenever I used to post my beats on Facebook, whatever lame thing I was doing. I always had, like, some girl saying, like, Darian May Beats or whatever, and I just never thought it sounded cool, but I didn't have anything else. And I named one of my beats. I don't know. I was on campus at LSU with some people. Just, you chill, play beats, whatever. We about to go to a party.
Let me bless you real quick for stepping on that campus. You cleansed, my son.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You were cleansed.
So we I had a beat just called Swayzee, not spelled the same way. I don't even know why I called it that. And they were like, someone was, my boy Joe, shout out Joe Johnson. He was like, hey, man, you should really, sorry, he told us, hey, man, you should really, you should probably name yourself Swayzee. And I was like, Swayzee? And I was like, yeah, I'll think about it. If I don't hate it in 2 weeks, maybe. And that was it. I didn't hate it. I made this a decision next week. And simple as that. I just named the beat that and then named myself that, and that was it. So nobody else. They got a couple other Swayzes out there, but it's not spelled the same.
Yeah, like the band Swayzee with Cisco Adler.
See, I don't know.
They had that song "Buzzin' in a Corona and Lime."
Is that them?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the band name though.
Yeah.
Really?
Swayzee.
I didn't know that. That's
I like it because Patrick Swayze, Roadhouse.
See, but that's what everybody tells me. Everybody thinks of that right away. So I guess that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Ooh.
What's that?
Ooh. Are we gonna get into that?
What?
Travis Scott thing?
Oh, dude, we talked about that. Oh no, I was just putting the background up.
Okay.
We talked about that last week. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
What part? Give me something.
You think was demonic, satanic?
Well,
I don't think it was.
So I'll be devil's advocate. So I'll play both sides. Music industry plays off that anyway, so it's going to naturally come off like that. There's a lot of elements that the music industry plays on that is attractive, in that light. So I don't think that was a specific play on it, but the music industry plays around with the devil a lot anyway. You know what I mean? Devilish subjects, devilish things. You know what I mean? And you take it for what it is. You can take it super serious and relate it to this incident, or this could just be an incident.
That's what I think it is, just an incident.
And that's what I think it is. But I understand the other perspective for people. I mean, I say understand it. I see where they could say it, but I feel like it's a reach.
Remember Hobson?
Of course.
Nocturnal Rainbows?
Fire song.
That was like an eye opener for a lot of people, apparently.
You think so? See, I didn't get that from that, but I could see that.
The lyrics. See, I'm a lyrics kind of person.
Yeah.
That's why my favorite rappers. I still think I'm old school. I like my old school rappers. You know who my go-tos are? Biggie, Cube, Nas.
That's why I fuck with you.
I think. See, I like more. I find East Coast rap has more lyrics that pertain to life. West Coast rap is what I'm a jam whenever I'm partying.
Yeah, I think honestly it's just their. So, I think it could be. Yeah, it could be that. I think the most noticeable difference for me, this is probably just two different sides of the spectrum, is the beats, man.
No, that's the same thing.
The West Coast beats is they could be spitting bars and it's on a party beat. It's just good vibes the whole time. You spit lyrics on some New York stuff and it's dark.
Yeah.
It's dark.
I guess that says a lot of and I'm an optimistic person, but I like the dark rap.
But that could be where you get that release from, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
It could be
music
that.
Provides that.
You get that part out of you, and then you go over there and go party some West Coast stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not really gonna bump Nas at a party.
Dude, I tried to make it work once.
That's your fault. You shouldn't have done that.
I tried.
Who told you to turn it off? Respectfully, because Nas is hard.
I think Nas might be the most underappreciated lyricist in the rap game.
Might be depending on who you ask, because he went up against one of the greats, and some say he won.
And Biggie?
No, he went up against Jay-Z. Him and Jay-Z.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, well,
but he smashed Jay.
See, so I don't think he's underrated, but he's not in that same light right now anymore. He's
Oh no,
he got
he's
alcohol
getting up
going
there.
for him and all that. He's a businessman now. He's not smashing skulls like that anymore.
I mean, shit. I have "The World Is Yours" on there. I like his song "Rule" from Like Mike. That beat's awesome, man. It's an uplifting one. And then "Take It in Blood."
See, that's where you get all your release from. You know what I mean? You listen to that and you go out and put on that smiley face with that beard and let that hair flow.
Well, here's the difference. Because whenever I have two different kind of music I'm going to listen to. Like at night, whenever I'm about to go to bed, I'm going to throw on my East Coast. But whenever I'm about to go out to party, cuz we're putting on some like Chance the Rapper favorite song.
Okay.
We're going to throw on some Kendrick.
Okay.
I like some of the stuff Drake's doing now.
Yeah.
I think he kind of went a little bit below on his lyrics.
So you feel that way with Certified Lover Boy?
What's that?
You feel that way with CLB?
CLB.
Did you listen to Certified Lover Boy? You said Drake?
Yeah.
So yeah, go listen to CLB.
I haven't listened to much of his new album.
Okay, yeah, go listen to CLB. Let me know what you think.
Then I like my favorite. I think the best lyricist right now is J. Cole.
He's top tier, man.
Him and Kendrick.
He's top tier. I know that's the obvious answer too, but he's top tier. He's impressive.
Yeah, dude. Everything he spits.
He's impressive. He's been that way though.
I think Middle Child kind of that song kind of let him get all that frustration out with people, and he was nice about it. But like whenever he's talking about Kodak, and I was watching something on Mumble rappers.
Ooh, I want to hear your take on that.
Oh, bro, do you really?
Yeah, I do, because I know I look at it different than a lot of people.
How the hell does an auto-tune mumble rapper perform on a stage in front of people?
The same reason you like a beat.
Yeah, we could like the beat, and I understand it fits today, the way that people listen to music now, because the music that we listened to growing up, like Lil Jon, Crunk Juice, Yin Yang, East Side
People don't
Boys,
talk about that stuff enough, man. I was losing my mind to that stuff.
Slim Thug, Paul
Facts,
Wall, Mike
facts,
Jones.
Facts.
They play that shit in the club now as hype music.
Mm-hmm.
That is what we were listening. You had to go next level to play hype music whenever we were jamming all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so
the mumble rap, though. The mumble rap. What do I think? I'm not going to knock a person for making their money. It's brilliant.
Respect the hustle.
Respect the hustle. It's brilliant. Do I think it's moderately close to J. Cole or any of the previous?
No.
Not even close. The only one that can really kind of say stuff, Meek Mill. I like Meek. I still like Rick Ross. You know, I like the guys who are kind of coming up with us as a generation because they kind of stick to their guns. Guys like, I've never once heard a 6ix9ine song. Kodak Black has one, I think it was Drowning. Was it Drowning? He was in Drowning.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think Kodak was in the song Drowning. Who else is that? 6ix9ine, Kodak, Lil Uzi Vert. I don't know, man. It's like I like the baby. I like the baby.
He don't mumble. He just raps fast.
Yeah, I like
Baby
that.
goes crazy.
I jam that motherfucker.
Yeah,
almost every day. My heart's so cold. My heart's so cold. I think I'm done with ice. If I leave her, she gonna die.
Man, I really think. So. A lot of the times, the beat can make a song, right? Sometimes you ain't got to say much.
But 70% of the time, people listen to it for that.
You know, and I think that, first of all, I think that's why my job is as important, because I don't think. Hey, buddy.
Explain to them what you do.
So I feel like Anybody from here who watches probably knows. All I did was spaz Facebook on it. But I make beats. I produce. I engineer. I do a lot of different music business and stuff. I'm into like the meticulous stuff. I manage. I make things sound and look good as much as I can, so people enjoy it, just to have a good time, have fun.
So you were saying you think the people listen to the beats now?
Yeah, I think that. So like, I think a lot of the reason why mumble rap is so. First off, I think the definition of mumble rap is a little bit misconstrued, because a lot of these people already just have an accent. And they might just have a certain way that they're saying it. Now, if they're on drugs, whatever, then they may say it funny. But I think mumble rap a lot of the times may just co-sign the beat. Some people don't know this, but like whenever you make a song, a lot of people don't start out with the words. A lot of people listen to a beat and be like, and they'll sing a melody. And so sometimes they'll pronounce the melody more than the words, because the melody is what's going to matter in certain situations. And some people do that way too much, and some people don't do it at all. You know what I mean? But it's just another form of creating a certain sound. Now, for lyricists, it's cancer. People hate it if they're people who love lyrics. It's cancer to them. They think, why would you even do that? That's not what I'm here for. Tell me something. Talk to me about something. I want to feel it. For people who are just turning up, could be sipping on something, having a good time. They don't care. It sounds fire. It's matching with the beat. It's going crazy. You know what I mean?
I think that's one thing I do a lot.
Different sides.
It's like one thing I do a lot whenever my friends hand me the aux cord. They're usually, a lot of times it happens, they hand it to me, like say we go out, at the end of the night, whenever they're like, they want to hear some lyrics. They want, like, they're feeling deep.
So y'all rap to it together, huh? Y'all rap it together?
Well, a lot of the stuff, a lot of people don't know. But you see, the best song I've been listening to the old school. I'm talking about Grandmaster Flash, and let's see,
Scott. See, that's why I love
the Sugar Hill Gang.
I love you, dude.
I love you too, buddy. The Sugar Hill Gang, man, like hip rappers delight.
Classic,
dude,
of course.
If people listen to the lyrics, you'll see how so many musicians got the beat from that song and the lyrics in today's rap. Like hotel, motel, holiday inn. Yeah, that's from that song. And we're talking about 1967 and 69. Like those dudes are way beyond their time.
So what do you think got you into that part of it? What got you so deep into like the storytelling I could really relate to? Like what got you hooked? Because I'm always interested. You're not a gangster. You're not someone from the projects. I'm not saying you should have like that, but it's interesting to see, like, so why would someone, from your background be so well versed and interested in not even just the songs but the history of it?
Well, I guess that's an interesting question. That's one of a first. So I think a lot had to do with Dad being the basketball coach at Abbeville and being about 5 or 6 years old. And the players' mom, when the first
Shout
explicit,
out Scott's dad.
Yeah, Big Jeff.
Yeah,
Big Jeff sitting up there drinking a Schlitz right now.
Facts.
Was what he's doing. I think it was interesting because Mom, the first explicit album I got was Lil Jon Crunk Juice, which went Lil Scrappy,
He got
Young
that?
Buck, dude. Oh my! I would shoot hoops outside in the front yard, and I'd have my old boombox, dude, and I'd put it on, and my mom would, Scott, you gotta turn that low, you gotta turn that down. Well, I think it had a lot to do with that because they let me use their CDs when my dad would be they'd have a game. So I'd be sitting there and I'd have Nas, Biggie, Pac, all of them. And at a young age, it kind of influenced you. And also the movie Drumline. The movie Drumline, whenever they incorporated like P.D. Pablo.
great movie.
Yeah, it's awesome. They incorporated P.D. Pablo, and then I started hearing how
Drumline 2 sucked.
That's why I like Bruno Mars too. How they incorporate a lot of the actual instruments into the music.
So you like that part of it too?
I love how the instruments you could clearly hear.
You like the live sound.
Yeah, yeah, stuff like that. Just Bruno Mars, I can jam
You
all
listen to
day.
his new project, Silk Sonic?
Yeah, Silk Sonic. Dude, Anderson .Paak
killed it. Oh my!
And Anderson
God.
.Paak has such a unique voice.
He does. He don't even look like he would sound like that.
No,
You don't even look like that.
I found him from "Dang" by Mac Miller.
Okay, yeah.
But I think that
Rest
song,
in peace, Mac.
I think "Leave the Door Open," dude. I think that is a banger, dude. It is freaking a banger.
That's interesting. So you think it's an experience based thing still? Like you still can pull from those things.
I do remember. It's like also another one like Lil Rob, "Summer Nights." Me and Kylan and my cousin Eric, whenever we'd be on the beach, he was like a West Coast rapper, and you just be talking like you have that beat, that chill beat. I think you can choose into old school rap. You can choose. You know which songs are gonna be. All right, the lyrics. How am I feeling today? Like, what?
So you can. It's a catalog for you to go through.
Oh yeah, dude. If you look at my phone, you see the songs that I have downloaded. It's different. I think it's a different kind of mood for you. Like, do you want to hear somebody tell a story about this? Are you in a sad mood? Are you in a happy mood? If I'm in a happy mood, I'm throwing on Pharrell, "Happy." Or I'm throwing on, that's not old school, but I'm talking about if I'm old school song. Well, my whole playlist is happy because I'm always fucking happy. But I'd say, a song that kind of hits you. I'd say Eminem had one called "Like Toy Soldiers" back in the day.
Of course.
That's pretty deep.
You a big Eminem fan?
I like his older stuff.
I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, I like his older stuff. But if we're talking, let's see, what's my favorite go-to, my playlist that I have? It'd probably be, we start off with Ice Cube, "You Know How We Do It." We go Pac. Let's see. What was Pac's that I had for him, man? Crap, I can't believe I'm forget it. "I Get Around." Yeah. Of course, "Hypnotize" is on everybody's list. That's so mainstream, that and "Juicy." But, dude, I saw the old school ones. I guess that's my whole experience growing up, listening to that to start off whenever everybody was still listening to 94.5.
Right. So I'm gonna cut you off real quick. So was your dad into that stuff, like heavy, or where do you think he got it from?
Dude, Jeffrey liked. Oh, all right, that's true. Earth, Wind, and Fire, like the funk music, and Sinatra. So funk correlates directly into that old school rap, and that's all I have downloaded too is funk.
That's why people love Bruno so damn much.
Because Bruno's kind of taking it to a new level.
He been funky.
Oh yeah,
been funky.
Uptown Funk might be the song of our generation.
Come on, Jesus, it might be.
I mean, it's that great. It really
I
is.
didn't even think about that.
Then you incorporate all that, like Earth, Wind, and Fire, like they did in Drumline, and then Jackson 5. It's like you mix all these old school rappers had this vision to where they threw that in, and it just sounded fucking awesome, dude. And you add good lyrics on top of that, they do tell a story. Like "Hate It or Love It," but The Game and 50 Cent.
I don't even. That's one of the most amazing songs ever.
Yep.
To me.
Yeah,
I might be biased.
absolutely.
I don't hear a lot of people say that song.
"Hate It or Love It."
That song is just ridiculous to me.
Yep. And then
Absolutely
"Hustler's
ridiculous.
Ambition" by Lil Wayne.
Classic.
Yep. Man, what's another one that we used to jam? See, Lil Wayne's single "Back on No Ceilings."
Oh, see, but I listened to that whole tape, like every single thing I listened to. See, but and that's why I'm impressed because you're a completely opposite side of it, like compared to where I am with it. Like for me, I was still listening to that stuff, but I wasn't listening to what everybody else was listening to. So like I grew up when everybody was listening to maybe Fall Out Boy or whatever a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like, because I grew up with my mom most of my life. I was in the darker area of things, Three Doors Down. And Creed isn't really, I can't really say
awesome.
Creed is super dark, but Creed is kind of dark, right? So I was in the darker area of things. Let's skip forward to middle school where you weren't cool if you didn't memorize some of Lil Wayne songs and sang it between every class, I was listening to that, but I was also listening to underground Louisiana, like underground. Like before Level even started popping off, I was listening to Level. Before Lil Fat was really going crazy, like I listened to people before they really, and I was just always on that. And so I was all about the new stuff. This is new. Let me hear this. For example, this is going to be so minute and petty, but like Bedrock. I heard that before. That was in a folder on my computer before it ever hit radio within like 3 months. I had found it before then. I was obsessed with that part of it. So it's interesting to see like how what your end of it and where you enjoy it, because I was excited to hear what somebody had just created. That's what was the thrilling part to me. You know, the lyrics was like, yeah, that's cool, but how does it sound? That's kind of how I always thought about things, and I was obsessed with that part of it.
See, I like Houston rap equally as much, though. Because Houston rap, let's think about it this way. We used to go to Houston all the time. And deep down, I always wanted to move to the city. I wanted like a penthouse, you know, man, overlooking some shit. In Houston? I used to.
Oh, okay.
I used to because I used to love riding through the city in Houston.
Me too. I grew up there before I moved here, actually.
Yeah, some Zero, some Trade the Truth.
Chamillionaire?
No, you know what? I was never really a big fan of.
You didn't like Riding Dirty?
I hate that song with a passion. I hate that song.
We just had that conversation. That might be the most famous, might be the most noticeable song ever created.
I hate it.
That might be there's not a single person on this earth that does not know Riding Dirty. It's still used in movies today.
I think the only other song that I hate more than that is White and Nerdy.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we just don't even count that.
If you want to see how a conversation like this is supposed to happen, here's where you're going to find it. Because a lot of y'all don't know how to talk to each other in terms of disagreement and saying your points and listening.
That's a big part, man.
Listening.
People always want to react.
This is one of those conversations where you listen. So we were talking about today the Ahmaud Arbery case, how it was perfect, how it went. Justice was served. I think everybody in America who has a soul and has eyes
knew that's how that needed to go.
Yeah. It's a very, very different situation. Kyle Rittenhouse, let me tell you something. Kyle Rittenhouse, 5 days it took for us to see the aerial view of this kid getting chased. And I hate to say, here's what I said, dude. I hate that I was right. The whole Antifa thing, I told my friends on the left, I said, I'm telling you right now, if y'all don't get a hold of this, conservatives getting beat up at the voting booth and getting threatened with bike chains, eventually people like us on the Republican side agree with the Second Amendment. The moment we start fighting back, we use firepower to fight back. And that's what you saw in Kyle Rittenhouse, a 17-year-old kid going to defend a small business that 3 woke Antifa white liberals chased him, one in a felony with a gun. You do something stupid, that's what happens. And that kid, that had to go that way, because what it would have said if Kyle Rittenhouse was proven, if they said he was guilty, what it would have said is that if you're a gun loving, if you believe in the Second Amendment, you have a permit, or you're wanting to defend yourself from somebody attacking you, you can't defend yourself from somebody attacking you. You just have to wait till they kill you. In the Ahmaud Arbery case today needed to go like it went. Because even Georgia's citizen's arrest law is that's a bad thing to have. And that's what I was worried about. I was worried that the defense was going to be able to follow the citizen's arrest law, even though Georgia, the week after Ahmaud Arbery's situation happened, the Republican-led Georgia state senate and the governor changed. There ain't no citizen's arrest law anymore. They changed that because it was a bad case. You can't. Yeah, you could say that this Ahmaud Arbery was going into this house and this and that. But what really settled the case for me is whenever they had Travis McMahon up on the stage getting interviewed by the prosecutor. I'm sorry, legal terms. We'll get to it. And he said, well, he didn't say anything to me.
Yeah, the dude literally said he did nothing. He didn't approach me. He didn't grab me. He didn't put his hand out. He didn't threaten me. None of that stuff.
And you had 3. And the one guy that I can say it is kind of a sucky situation for us. A guy who was driving in the back, like the neighbor, feeling it because he got 6 out of the 9 counts. So he's going to go to jail for life too, and he didn't even get out of his car. But hey, that's Georgia law. Like if you're around people trying to catch somebody, citizens arrest law. I don't know the exact legal terms. All I'm saying is that you can't just chase somebody, regardless of what they look like. You can't chase them in a truck.
No, man, you're not. Listen, at the end of the day, and I'm going to ask you a few questions, too, because I want to get my facts straight before I say what I'm going to say, which I think I do have them straight. Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to say is probably not going to change. But if we needed that, we wouldn't have police. You know what I mean? Like, if we needed people to do that, we wouldn't have police.
Yeah.
That's just, let's start from ground zero. You know, it's just anything past that is stupid to me. Now, you got the citizens arrest law, right, where they changed that because they figured out, now we need police to do that, right? Now we can delegate one thing. If we feel like police brutality is a problem, we can focus on the police because we outlawed citizens trying to do this stuff. You get what I'm saying?
Vigilante justice.
So we don't even need citizens doing that stuff. Now, the Ahmaud Arbery case, a lot of people thought it was going to be open closed case. It ended up panning out longer. Okay, we still got the same results, right? It's still essentially the verdicts still panned out as an open closed case. Just took a little bit longer because there were some questions in the air. You had the jury being 11 white people, right? It was like 11.
I didn't follow the jury to that.
So
extent.
It was like 11 white people, 1 black person, whatever.
Oh, you talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse or Ahmaud Arbery?
Ahmaud Arbery.
Because I saw they had to switch the jury out a little bit, huh?
I think I don't know because they've been running hand in hand with each other at this point. So
not for the Kyle Rittenhouse one. I know the Kyle Rittenhouse one had one minority member.
Yeah, I don't know if they had to switch them out though.
That's demographic. That's demographic of your.
But there were some questions, and justice was served, and that's how it should be, and that's a big step. I won't even say step in the right direction because I still feel like people are trying to go in the right direction already. I think it's a big stamp on the steps that we're taking to go in the right direction.
I think people are going backwards now, if you ask me.
Okay, explain that.
So
actually, I'm gonna joke because I want to get one more point out. So because that's a whole nother conversation. So when it comes to the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, I feel like our process a little bit different. To me, and I know not everybody's going to process it this way. To me, it's a case of self-defense.
Clear cut.
Ground zero.
Clear cut.
Ground zero, it's a case of self-defense. Where I have the problem and where the justice system, to me, I don't even say the justice system. I think a lot of the problems is law doesn't account for morals. And if you had a son, I don't think you would have told him to go guard a place with a big, what was it, a hunting rifle?
It was an AR-14.
It was an AR-14? Is that what it was?
Not a 15. It was a 14. AR-15 type of assault. But it wasn't, it fit the parameters in terms of length to where it was illegal for him to carry that.
Yeah, and I understand why he had that because legally he could not carry a handgun. That from what I heard, that's the last thing I heard. He could not carry a handgun.
He would have been shit if that bear would have been a little bit shorter.
So my problem with that, whole thing is I don't think any one of us who and from ground zero, I'm not gonna go give people a reason to look at me funny. That's just where I'm at. So I would not tell my kid or my family member to go out there with a big gun like that around people who are already doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
That's where I start to have the problem. So it's a little bit less about the law part of it for me and about the morals part. What are we really going to accomplish by drawing the attention of some people who are already doing things they shouldn't be doing? That's where I start to have a big problem with it because then you start to draw attention to yourself. And I feel like that's stupid. I can
counter you in one aspect. So he was part of a group. He's a trained in CPR, ambulance group. They were part of a group that was cleaning up defaced buildings. So he was responding to a call saying that there was cars in the used car parking lot that were about to get set on fire. These small business owners, they can't defend themselves.
Right.
So that's where I say, you know what, if I had a son and he was that age, I'd go out there with him. and defend. If he was that set.
Maybe that's another solution to it. Maybe that's another solution.
But then again, if he still would have gotten chased because he had to go meet that team that was guarding there too, and that's where you chase somebody with that kind of. You don't do that, and you don't try to hit him with a skateboard.
No, I agree, but and I agree. You shouldn't.
The key thing in that case, the guy who survived, they asked him, whenever you covered your face, did he shoot you? He goes, the moment I started.
Oh yeah, it was another example of that.
The moment I started retreating. Yeah.
My problem with that is like it's the same. This is kind of how I look at it, right? And we can get like 100%. We can talk. Should he have defended himself, and did he have the legal right to? Absolutely, absolutely. Just because a lion chases you in Africa and you have to go shoot it doesn't mean you should have been and you're allowed to shoot it if it's about to kill you. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean you should have been rolling around with a bunch of lions. That's how I feel about it. Don't like putting yourself, and whatever the reason he was put there is, right? Mm-hmm. If it was to defend, okay, he was still a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
With a huge rifle that it's going to attract some sort of attention. And if you're already around negative things, this is what's coming with that. Now, I don't agree with putting a 17-year-old in that position. You're not going. There's just point blank period.
Yeah.
Because he could have been killed. He could have been. This will be a different story if he was killed. People will be saying the same thing. Wow, a 17-year-old lost his life because he was out there. They're going to start throwing that number out there in a different light. It's going to be thrown out there in a different light. Oh, man, poor him. He got killed. Only 17, just trying to. That's how the story would have been spun.
And now it would have been spun to where it probably would have said BLM protesters take down active shooter.
Well, no, I'm talking about after the facts came out. Yeah, after the facts came out.
But before then, because they painted this kid, they painted the kid as a white white supremacist, and he can sue Joe Biden, CNN, and MSNBC.
I don't think he can. I think he has to do it a different way though. Because
defamation of character.
Yeah, because he can't actually sue him, right? Doesn't he have to file a?
He can sue the campaign. Any political
because it was
campaign.
before he was president.
But any political campaign is a business.
Okay.
So you could sue the Biden campaign, and you get he's going to win.
Oh yeah, he's going to win. So, but what I'm saying is, after all the facts came out, because it's the same way with this. After all the facts came out with this, because I'll be honest, when I first saw that, I said, "You dumb, what are you doing, dude?" And I still feel like you're dumb for doing that, and I get why. Maybe it was for a good cause. It was for a good cause, right? I just think there's a certain amount of layers of stupid that led to this. And that's where my basis for things lie. Should he have been found guilty? No. And that steps into the quick point that I can make, where you can choose to deep dive into it or not, or we can go into the next conversation, is when you say that, a lot of people are bringing race into the conversation.
Oh yeah, we got a lot to say about this.
I do think that the term, I do think the term possibly racist and all this is, I think that term is misused.
It's thrown around just like that now.
I think it's misused strongly, and coming from a white and black family who, some of them have two completely different views, which means I have a lot of experience in delegating between the two and understanding a certain conversation. I really think that racist is being put in the place of a sense of feeling disregarded. I think that word racist is thrown in that way too much. And those are two completely different conversations you have after those words are thrown out there. If I say the word racist, our conversation's going to go left, as opposed to if I say I feel disregarded, instead of saying I feel like you're racist. If I say I feel disregarded, it's going to go a whole nother direction. And I don't think a lot of people use these terms right. Because just because someone may not understand something doesn't mean that they're racist. And just because you don't understand them doesn't make them racist. You know what I mean? I think that's crazy. And I think that's where I can agree where people may claim something is race baiting. Because I still think some people don't even know that they're really race baiting. I think they have no idea that that's really what that could be. And that they're just misstating how they feel, because there's a blanket statement that comes with the word race. That is a blanket. There's a big umbrella under that. That means a lot of things that you're not racist, Scott, that you don't want to be associated with. you say racist, and you're like, well, look at, we have cases of actual, potential racism going on where this black man lost his life. Don't associate me with that word. Now our conversation's gone left instead of gone progressive.
Well, I think that's a different kind of scenario, because you can have somebody say you got a case with a black man and they can still be racist in terms of aspects like that. Now, here's where I kind of draw the line, which is I said we're going backwards. Okay? What if we just said unarmed jogger killed by people trying to utilize citizen's arrest? That's what it was whenever we were growing up. It wasn't black man killed by 3 white guys, citizen killed while jogging, or something-year-old age man killed while jogging. What if we use, instead of 17-year-old white male, Kyle Rittenhouse, 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse. Let's see. Everything started becoming about race.
Man, it's about labels.
And that's what it is.
That's where
it starts to bother me. And that's where it just really started to bother me. And people, they say my take on this is very, a lot of people say you're going towards your white privilege. Let me tell you something. Because of the color of my skin, just because of the color of my skin doesn't mean I get to get blamed for everything.
True.
That is unfair.
True.
Just like using race baiting. People, let me give you an example of what I consider race baiting.
Talking politics.
Oh yeah, but no, this is.
I make beats, Scott, but I like these conversations.
Yeah, but it's a good conversation to have because you see things from both perspectives.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, people, like I said, the other day, I said white liberals. I used it to define them because think about it. Who are the most people that are bringing up race and they treat people differently because of race all the time? White, far left liberals. For example, UC Berkeley. They locked arms in the student walkway to get to class, locked arms. If you were a minority, you could get through the gate. If you were white, you had to walk around. It's the most liberal campus probably in the country. But how are you furthering the conversation like that? In terms of certain things race-wise, yeah, we got to talk about it. But I'm saying my solution is not to start talking about people, how race is affecting people now. And you're bringing it up where your solution should be, let's vote our elected local leaders differently and invoke change. Let's not let the mainstream media divide. That's what they want to do. They want us to be here, sitting here arguing about white and black because it makes a good news story.
100%. 100%.
And people are eating that shit up.
Yeah, and they know. Listen, man. We on Netflix. We're not on CNN until something about a white and a black person. Then we go right to CNN, Fox News, H something, whatever these other. What are the other HLN or what? I don't know. There's a whole bunch of different stuff, right?
Fox, all that shit.
So we're not on there until this happens, and then we're all sitting at our TVs, and these commercials and these businesses just raked in a whole bunch of money because someone bought a Zumba in the middle of a trial. You know what I mean? And so, or whatever it is, a Roomba, whatever the stuff is, right? And so, I think. But if I'm going to be devil's advocate to that conversation, if I'm going to say, well, what if that's not it? Which I'm not saying. But what I'm saying, if there's another point of view, I think the other point of view is, which this can go on another conversation as well.
Let's roll with it, man.
The history is hard to ignore, which allows them to play that white and black card. The history is hard to ignore when it seems like it continues to repeat itself in certain instances.
Well, there's a difference between racism and what I consider today woke racism. Today is woke racism, which is why I said white liberals are the most racist people in the country.
I think the sensitivity level's through the roof.
Sensitivity, but also woke racism is basically saying, I'm telling you right now, a white, straight Christian guy like me has no, in this conversation, amongst white liberals, I am the most discriminated person in terms of white liberals against that they hate. Like literally, there's nothing that I can do. Are you watching the dog?
My bad, man. He's doing some crazy stuff.
Oh yeah, he's something. Yeah, that's how it goes. White liberals think I'm the most horrible person on the planet. So therefore, in terms of that, I was like, all right, you're a straight white male. You're the most discriminated person in this country right now.
I'm about to light this place on fire here in a second.
Well, that whole thing. Whenever I say that they are racist, is simply because I had a conversation with bleep his name out. Commented on one of my things about COVID.
I feel like I might have seen this.
Yeah, you remember that was that 100,
I might have seen this.
That 100, 200 comment thread.
The very little that I ever get on there, I might have seen this.
Yeah, so that was a long comment. I said, you really just turned something about COVID into race. And I said, you know what? If you want to have an adult conversation, give me a call. My number hasn't changed. We spent 2.5 hours on the phone. I said, so you mean to tell me that if we were hanging around any of our black friends,
which y'all both had a lot of them,
if we were hanging around any of them, I said, you mean now if they come to my house, I should talk to them differently than I talk to you? And he said, well, yeah, you should ask them how they feel and this and that. And I said, that is the exact definition of racism, treating somebody different because of the color of their skin. Do I want to have that? Do you think that Narajan, Cody, or any of them are coming over to my house for me to sit here and say, so tell me how I can...
Yeah, but you bring up a good point, right? So do you think that means, because this is a thing, this is really going to light people on fire. So, Scott, you have a black card from us, right?
Yeah.
You have a black card. You pass. You know what I mean? But that's a joke thrown around that is actually kind of real. You know what I mean? Some people there is kind of a social black pass that people get, right? We have white people that, on the internet will never say, oh, you say the N-word all the time around me. We grew up that way. People will never admit that, right? So that's a black card.
Oh, I didn't say that damn word.
No, you didn't. I'm not saying, let me not put that there. You didn't say that. But I'm saying there's people that won't admit that they let other people slide with that. Mm-hmm. I have people that I grew up with that they said it, and I didn't say anything.
Y'all tried to get me to say it all the damn time, too.
Of course we did. But you got, and you see where I'm saying? Like there's that black card thing that I really think is actually real. So you had that conversation with that person, and I think that's coming from possibly a different place. Let me shine a light on a different end, if you will, where it's like, well, but what if you don't know them? And what if to them they don't know that you have that card? How else do you approach that situation without being offensive?
So just walk up to anybody different, like a black person and talk about, or if they ask me? No,
I'm saying like, okay, so if that person is saying, you should ask them how they're doing, right?
Oh yeah, I always ask everybody how they're doing.
Well, no, and I get that. So, but I'm gonna say you don't, right?
No, like how you know what I mean to say is, how are you doing in terms of your how do you feel about the racism in this country? Is that going to be the first question you want to ask?
Well, no. But if that person is saying you should do that, where does that stem from? I think is what we need to focus on more than why would I do that? What does that stem from? You know what I mean? So if someone feels like you need to ask that person that, then that goes back to me saying I feel like there is a difference, because you said you now put in the term, that's a definition of racism, where I think that where that stems from could be don't make sure that person, another way to say it is make sure that person doesn't feel disregarded in these times where everything is so volatile. First off, it's volatile let me just say something. Oh, I'm about to light the world on fire. It sucks to be white right now. It really sucks. There's a lot of things happening that are blanketed over just being quote unquote white.
Yeah.
It really does. I had one of my friends and I told him he was stupid. I told him he was stupid for this because I don't agree with this. I don't agree with it. But he was like, there's a war on white people. I said, you tripping. But there's a lot of things that are going crazy. And it, for a while, has also been, and I say sucks, right? We're just throwing that around loosely. It has sucked, right?
Yeah.
To also go through what a black person may go through, right? So both ends. Recently, recently, yikes. Recently, it has been unpopular for a lot of people, or people can perceive being white as unpopular because they feel like it's a form of not knowing you're taking advantage and being used to disregarding other things because you haven't ever had to worry about it. And now that is super looked down on because you ain't been through what I've been through. And I think a lot of people are too sensitive in that area. I think the word disregarded and racism are hand in hand at this point, and they lead to two completely different conversations.
We don't have to pretend like we're colorblind, which is what liberals want to say. They want to say, "Oh, I'm colorblind." I can clearly tell that you're darker than me.
Mm-hmm. So you feel that way? You feel like, because continue. I'm gonna let you finish your statement.
I mean, I can sit here and say you're darker than me. I'm not going to pretend like you're colorblind. I'm still going to talk to you the same way I talk to Kylan.
See, and I think that that's a term. I think that is also used the wrong way too. A lot of people say, "Well, I don't see color." Some people may take offense to that. So you just completely missing out on the fact that I have a beautiful culture. Some people can take it that way. Mm-hmm. And this also goes more along with the sensitive aspect. Well, that might not be what they're saying. They might just say they're going to talk to you like everybody else. But that statement has turned a little bit less progressive, a little bit more offensive now. That comes off a little bit more offensive now. It does, just in the times that we live in.
Yeah.
Whether it really should or not is a whole nother debate, right? But that's how things are perceived. Same thing with some gay slurs that are said.
See, that's never going to change.
But no, I'm saying is them being perceived a certain way. The way we was throwing some words around before. There's some things I've had to delete on Facebook. I was like, yo, if that was seen now, it'd be crazy. And I know a lot of people have had to do that. So with a lot of businesses and a lot of the ways that things have been going, you know what I mean? But things change over time is my whole point. Things change over time. And being sensitive is a rocky road to go down because you've got terms like race baiting. You've got things where people are, liberals and this, that, and the other. And they all kind of go hand in hand at that point, you know? And the middle ground is tough to find. It's tough to find.
See, I don't find it too tough to find, though, because at the end of the day.
Not between personal, I'm talking about within a group.
Yeah. So what my go-to always is, I can look at things from a different perspective just because of the way my parents raised me. Mm-hmm. And I was blessed to be raised the way I was, to be able to have the viewpoints I do. I look at things like that and I say, all right, well, I don't know what it's like to walk in your shoes. You don't know what it's like to walk in mine. You might have a completely different experience in terms of interactions with cops, things of that nature. We can talk about the police brutality thing all day. I'm one of those people who said, I got pulled over one time. First thing I do is I'm putting my hands out the car. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying a fucking word. Never said the fucking word. I was nervous as hell. First time I've ever been pulled over.
I got some stories, boy.
But that'd be a whole different thing. A whole different thing. What I'm saying is, in terms of people nowadays, is everybody, and I had the guy I was talking to, I tried that method that we were just talking about. I said, so man, like, what's your feelings on everything going on nowadays in terms of the race relations? I tried it. Mm-hmm. And he had just gotten out of jail from 10 years ago. Mm. Yeah. So you could tell how you can just about understand how he felt about the prison system. Mm-hmm. He goes, man, sometimes I just want to be talked to like I'm a person.
Yes, and I agree. And I think that's what that conversation you had prior is where the conversations start to go left and right. Because I don't agree with that part of it. Like, as far as, yeah, like, I get tired of talking about this stuff, especially since I'm white and black. I have. So what do you think about? How do you feel? And I have a very well-versed perception on things to where I can fight both battles for each other because I can see where one side might be coming from on both ends. I can see it. Which one I lie on is if we had that conversation, we would have that conversation, right? But I understand why one might perceive something a certain way and where it could be translated better. And that's a big one. Because I don't always like you've never talked to me any different from, case in point. First, I moved here. You were my first friend. You and this big-headed dude, Logan Galette.
Yeah, Logan.
You and Logan were my first friends, right?
White, you see that?
White,
you see
yeah.
that?
Well, geez,
You see that?
Need to get out of here. So, whew. But y'all, and you never talked to me any different, and you were hanging around me, and we not throw a whole bunch of names out, but you were hanging around me, and some of the people we were just mentioning a second ago, and that whole clique, which that clique is from some grimy areas. You're not really from a super grimy area like that. You didn't have to live, but you were there, and because you treated them like family. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that all these terms, racism, this, that, and the other, have how many times do you hear the word we should all just treat each other like family? Do you hear that more than those other words? No, you don't. That word that like, I just want to be treated like family. It's dope to, people love Louisiana culture a lot, and trust me, Louisiana has two very opposite sides to people being treated like family. We know that. I'm very aware of that, right? You can get real grimy out here with that stuff. But a lot of the time, a lot of things have changed, and the feeling of hominess and acceptance is also very strong among certain people over here. Stronger than I think possibly any other state in the country.
Lafayette, yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, you also have some of the most racist. But there's a certain sense, and people love that. How you doing, my baby? Come on, my baby. Oh, what you want? Some crackling, some Buddha? I'll give you an extra one. That's family.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I feel like if that word was thrown around a lot more, instead of, well, just ask them. You should always address someone about what's going on now. Ask them how they feel. Check in on them. Just treat them like family, bro.
I give you a way of how to do it. Swim basketball at the park about a year ago. And I was the only white boy playing. So basketball park games get rough now. Y'all don't know. But they elbowed me in the chest, and I hit the pole. Well, come on, Snowflake, gotta do better than that. Went down, you're gonna elbow me. All right, son. Tried to jump over me. Boom, in the chest. Hit his knees. I said, come on, Cocoa Puff, you gotta jump higher than that.
And I feel like it's respected at that point. It's respected at that point. It's tit for tat, man. We live in a tit for tat world. We live in a tit for tat. And if you're sensitive, can you handle the tat?
No, they cannot.
Can you handle the tat after you've dealed out the tit? You know what I mean?
I guarantee you. If they had a video, if they had some liberals out there with a videotaping that game, they would have heard that. You say, come on, Coco. Oh, dude. White boy shows up to basketball park to stir trouble.
I have, and I'm not going to put this person's name, but I have a great example of how crazy things feel like I've got, because I don't live here anymore, right?
Yeah.
But I still witness stuff. I'm still friends with people on Facebook, and for some reason, Facebook is like an old people's Twitter. So I see all types of drama on there that I really think is irrelevant, but it still makes it on there. And there were some issues with someone dressing up as something for Halloween.
Oh.
And I seen that.
Yep.
And I reached out to that person because I understood where it was coming from, right? And he ended up apologizing. And I heard two ends to that. I heard two ends to it. I actually spoke to my dad about it, and he gave me his side.
What do you think? What did your dad have to say about that?
You got to remember where that comes from first before you do that. That's what he said. And I do agree, but this is where, and I'll get into that because me and him had the conversation progressed after that statement. So I don't want people to just think that it ended there. My dad very understanding. Okay, that's just where the conversation was in that vicinity, and it was a good conversation. There was. At one of the schools I went to, that person who was white dressed up as a certain black movie star. And we loved her for it. And when I say dressed up, like lathered up, dressed up.
Mm-hmm.
And we was eating. It was hilarious because she had the black card.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So I feel like, damn, I forgot the point I was trying to make with that. But I feel like that part of it is like, if there's an understanding, then there's like a pass for that kind of stuff because you're family.
Now let me.
So it's with, I get it, because this is in regards to the basketball thing. To the basketball thing. There was an understanding between everybody in that moment in time, right? There's an understanding. And nobody had any type of malice towards it. But if that picture were to get pulled, which I'm going to delete it now, if that picture were to get pulled,
of the girl?
Of that person who did that, cancel right now. And to us, we were like, nah, we know where that came from. Mm-hmm. She loved those movies.
Yeah.
She loved that stuff. She was a fan. And she had the attitude to back up what she was doing. It was funny.
You know what? This thing called Liberty Hangout. These two college students. This guy. Let's see. His name's Patrick. He's he put on white, covered up in white,
okay,
and dressed like a cowboy, covered up his face white and everything. And the girl dressed as an Indian. Well, they were hacking on the girl. They went to a college campus, of course, to see how they react. They said, well, it's cultural appropriation that you're dressed up like that. Mm-hmm. Well, she goes, well, what about my friend? How does that make you feel? I said, well, he can do that. He's a minority.
See, yeah.
And that's where it becomes sticky. And that's where it gets, where I'm saying we're going backwards.
Yeah.
Because now you have kids, and I don't know if you heard about this, in California, they're separating white kids and black kids onto different sides of the room or different classes to teach the white kids that one day they might be an oppressor, and the black kids that one day they're going to be victims. They're taking kids out of classes by color.
I have to read in more into that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that sounds
please
wild.
do, because they're separating kids now by color.
Where would I sit?
You might be in the janitor's closet, like in the middle room.
I'm in the closet.
You're like in the middle. You're like in the middle room.
Hi, kids.
By yourself.
How's it going? Can I come out yet? Are y'all back together?
Oh shit!
I'm dead,
that's where your ass would be, man.
But that makes sense, man, and it's sticky because I get what my dad was saying. What you got to think where that comes from. Blackface particularly is extremely hateful. As blackface is extremely hateful as blackface.
Yes.
Extremely hateful, and I get where some people who where it might have been understood at the time that they did it, it looks trash now. And I'll be honest, it does look trash now. It does. But that's where things get sticky, right? Because is it really trash at the time? Do we know where it comes from? There's no context to anything. And I think that we're coming to a world where everything, and this sucks, and I don't think it should be this way, but where everything is needing a disclaimer.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the dress that the girl had on, I think what makes it look bad is when people actually do blackface.
It was that.
If it's purely just black, what if they're blending in makeup and stuff like that, going into character like Robert Downey Jr. did in Tropic Thunder?
Yeah. I mean, so I guess that's a conversation to be had, right? Because for me, my take may not always be my final take, right? I enjoy other people's perception, and sometimes my take isn't always a lot of people in the black community might not necessarily agree with what I say. A lot of people in the white community might not agree with what I say either. Mm-hmm. But I think that how do I address this? I think for people to get away with it, doesn't mean if they should or shouldn't do it, but to get away with it in the public eye, there'd have to be something else done. You get what I'm saying? There got to be another layer on top of it to show that you show respect to this. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you do that. I don't know if that's, you get what I'm saying? I don't know what that would be. And because the only other way is just don't freaking do it. Yeah, that's just where I'm at with it.
I'm along those lines where just don't do it.
Just don't do it.
But I'll tell you what, I might dress up like a cowboy or Indian just to piss liberals off. Which, I have Indian in me. So what are you going to tell me?
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Homer. So what are you going to tell me? I'm Italian, I'm Sicilian, Greek, Nova Scotian, I got Indian in me.
That's what it is.
Bro, look at that.
I knew you were crazy from the jump.
Hey, bro, that olive oil skin, that's how it stays like that
jump.
year round, partner.
Your dog got problems.
And my dad invented GTL anyway. Gym Tan Laundry.
Oh God, yeah, dog. Stop it.
Jersey Shore.
So he was. So is he like super Italian?
Hell, dude. He looked like it. He had like the mustache, dude, and everything.
Yeah, he did.
Dude, I'm telling you, that man literally he was darker than you.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I saw. I don't think I ever got to meet your dad.
I think you did.
Did I?
Yeah.
Man, if it would have been so long ago if I did, honest to God, it would have been so long ago.
Oh, Jeffrey was a stud, bro.
I know a lot of people around us, obviously. And I knew of him and knew about him, of course. I just didn't have. If I did, I don't remember the personal interaction that I had with him. But amazing, rest in peace.
Oh, dude, I can honestly say they raised us right.
Yeah, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing. Same way with me. I've got fantastic musically inclined, very open, informational based. I've been blessed because a lot of people don't think the way I don't see things the way that I see them. As far as seeing both sides and being able to comprehend and come to an amends, I think that's special. We don't talk about that enough.
It's crazy to think where we were back, high school, middle school. We always knew that we always knew you'd be with the Beats. You worked your ass off with that shit in school to start off.
Yeah, I guess I was obsessed with it.
Yeah, became an obsession for you.
Bro,
and early on.
Yes. Yeah, man. I don't know. I see my parents, like my mom she was number one vocalist in whatever her vocal range was in Louisiana. She was number one. Was going to school for it. She had me. Her life became about me at that point. My grandfather, rest in peace, he just passed away 2 weeks ago this Tuesday.
Yeah, sorry about that again, man.
Thank you. And he would sing. My dad, freaking legend. My dad was producing, had done, and where they're at now, who knows? I don't even know. But was producing for UGK at one point.
No fucking shit.
Yeah. He was doing songs.
International Players Anthem, baby.
He's got songs with them that may have never come out. You know what I mean? Like there's things that he was doing. I think he was in touch with Juvenile at one point in time. He was right there before he went away for a little bit, a couple of years, and then came back better than ever. But it's always been in my family, and I would go to my dad's place whenever I would see him because I live with my mom. Whenever I would visit, he would always have his little setup, and I would, he would just, put on the clicker and just let me click the keys, and then I'd click record, and I'd be, Dad, come listen to what I mean? So I was starting that stuff from a super young age.
Find your shtick, man.
Yeah.
So do you feel like by the time that you got to this age now, do you feel that you're glad that you were able to experience and know what you wanted to do? That you had that kind of start to where, all right, I'm doing this, and then you went to school. What I'm getting at is now I'm with the same boat. In that situation, you went to school, and you said, you know what? I'm not liking this. This isn't who I am. This isn't going to make me happy in the future. I need to go back to what I love to do. And dropping it, like leaving school, do you feel like now, I feel this way, do you feel like that was the best decision you ever made?
It was because and other factors played into me leaving too. And a lot of what we call, what is it, bad things or whatever. A lot of those are blessings in disguise, right?
Yeah.
We don't know it at the time. But it was because when I was in when I was in middle school, when I was in elementary school, middle school, and all that, I didn't have no type of beat making. I had nothing. And there was a period of time where I wasn't going back to my dad's to make beats. I was just there to go hang out with him. So I had completely lost touch with it until probably eighth or ninth grade, when I was this is crazy. So I was in Washington State. They used to ship me out to Washington State for 2 months on this big property with my grandparents. And it's like 7-acre land, 3-story log cabin, beautiful. Had no internet, nobody else there but me and my grandparents. So I was losing my mind every time. We were in the mall one day, I don't remember for what. And I remember I told my dad, I was like, man, I got to come back to finish that beat. And I remember when I had gone back, this was before I went out there, we had lost the session. And I was like, damn, I really thought I was going to make a good beat, right? And it wasn't a part of my life like that. It was just like, I just want to make a cool beat. These sounds are cool. And I got mad that I lost that session. And for some reason, that just haunted me. There's some odd reason. And so I was like, dang, I really want to do something else. I was in the mall sitting, waiting for someone in the dressing room. And I'm like, they got a beat making app, because I just got the iPhone 3GS or whatever it was, and they had like a beat making app in the store. And I was like, oh, let me try that real quick. Done. Hooked. I was pulling samples from online on my phone, dropping, dragging, finding things, hitting, making whole beats just on my phone. And that's kind of where like it took over everything in school. Because before that, dude, like I'll be honest, it was A and B honor roll all day. And as soon as I picked up that phone like that, it was like, T's, some D's. Like, I could not get away from it. Now, granted, I passed. I was in college, all that good stuff, right? But I could not get away from it. And everything that was happening to me in college, where something would happen where maybe I couldn't complete it, or I had a bad semester, or this, that, and the other, and things would change, the only thing that was always there was the music. I could always go make a beat. If I broke up with my girlfriend at the time, I could always go make a beat. If I failed a test, I could always go make a beat. You know what I mean? Like, that was always there. So I got tired of losing stuff. And I made my life about the music.
That's how you do it, bro.
That's
you got to follow what you, and it takes time to actually, some people, it takes time to actually find out.
Yeah, it does.
Like this situation, it takes time to actually find out what you love to fucking do.
So
once you finish it, what's that?
How do you feel like you kind of fell into your role? Because you've always been good with people.
Yeah.
So, and like, there's a few people that I looked up to, as far as people who are good with other people. You were always one of them, because I always wanted to be better with people. If you remember me in middle school, I was timid.
Yeah, you were a little, but you got better over the years.
Right, but I paid attention to that. I paid attention to a lot of people. I liked the way that they associated a lot of our friends that we had in middle school. Everybody, middle school, high school, you want to figure out how to talk to girls, whatever. A lot of those people just had good communication skills. Yeah. So I was just paying attention to those people. And there's a few of our friends, Kate's freaking amazing with people. Those are people that I looked up to just within our friend group that I kept myself around you guys because I felt like y'all were better than me in certain things. And so
I thought you liked me as a person, buddy.
I love you as a person, but I love how good you are at what you do in your person. Those are things, if I want to be like someone, I admire them. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't keep people around me that I don't feel like I'd want to be like one day or pull something from.
I'd say the number one thing is I got to witness how my mom interacts with people. She runs the Acadian Village. My dad was a coach. Just talking to people.
Two very good examples of
social. Like social interaction. I guess the biggest thing now that I've learned, though, as I got older, especially nowadays, dude, like I wasn't as confident back then as I am now. But it's like the number one things that you can look for that people notice whenever you're talking to them with a social interaction is the eye contact, the body language. Whenever you're having, I noticed that about, like, especially if you're talking to a girl too. her eye contact with you.
You know what's really good about that? Just to cut you off and
What you
co-sign,
got?
bro. Louisiana is really good about teaching you how to do that.
Oh, and dude, you ain't beat a Cajun woman.
Listen,
you can't beat a Cajun woman.
Culturally down
Cajun
here,
women
you know how to connect. They
right there.
teach you how to connect down here, bro.
Yeah, that's also like we're products of our environment, which is a big help too as well. Growing up in a small town, we started off small, actually helped too, because now you branch off. But I guess I just love talking to people. To begin with, I had a conversation with that tree outside before you got here. For about 30 minutes, it was actually about this fucking day.
How'd the tree feel?
Yeah, it said it was getting a little cold.
I bet, yeah.
It's just, I guess, when it comes down to our minds, the greatest thing I ever did was like you just said, leaving school and pursuing what you got to pursue.
Which I will say,
stay in school. If you can graduate,
bro, go get that. Go get it. I'm not even saying I'm not going to go back, but I had to do some other things first.
Fuck that.
I had to do some other things first. You know what I mean? Because I realized how important it is to learn about business. That is, oh my god! I wish someone would have talked to me a little bit more about why I would want to learn about business. Because I never understood why I would ever need to learn about business until you get into business. And you're like, oh my god, I wish I knew more about this earlier. Other than that, if it's not for you, it's not for you.
Well, I have 127 hours on my transcript. But I transferred, remember? So I lost 2 years of school.
From the transfer?
Yeah.
They just didn't transfer over to...
I transferred back from school in Alabama, Spring Hill, then the SLCC, transferred from SLCC to UL. UL changed our policy twice. Came back.
That's wild.
They said I needed 47 more hours on my transcript, and they all had to be electives. I said, with all due respect, man, if I am paying $16,000 to go bowling, I better be in the PBL by the time I'm done.
That's like 2 years, right?
Yeah.
UL was bad about that, man.
Do you have a better chance of getting in and out of North Korea than UL taking your credits?
I had issues, boy.
I'm telling you.
Many issues. I had people telling me I would have like 3 minors because I switched my majors. They told me I was having like 3 different minors, and by the time I'm done, because I ended in PR. That was the best switch I ever made, which was to PR, which I was in communications. That was what my major was in before I left. And they were like, no, you're not. And I realized because they just changed so many things all the damn time. And like some of the stuff didn't I have the college degree equivalent in credits and hours. I have my paper without my paper.
Yep.
But I just, none of the, I don't know. Anyway, if you leave...
Make sure you're fucking ready.
Yeah, and go and figure out what
life gets real quick,
dude. It does, and like for you, your releases, making changes and representing your community, and
I wouldn't say my release is necessarily that. I think my release now is mainly that my mindset. Okay, so I try to wake up. Every day is the next best day of my life.
Yeah.
Because I woke up. Now, here's the thing about that. Whenever people say, oh, your mindset, this and that, you can do this, you can flip a switch, this and that. All right, yeah, you can do that around people. Now, what if I'm sitting down one day, I'm like, oh, I've been staring at the screen for forever, this and that. I just don't want to do anything today. What you do whenever you're by yourself, if you catch yourself being like meh compared to how you are in public, smiling, that's a bad habit to have. I always want to be smiling no matter if I'm home by myself or not. I really want to look at everything positively. Positively, yeah. It's an awakening thing. And this is unwoken, but it's a soul thing. It's more the confidence in yourself, the ability.
Being in tune with yourself, man, is so
Bingo.
important. But the reason I say I feel like your release is spreading out is because I feel like you want more people to find that within themselves.
I do. I try my best.
I feel like
too.
you do, and I feel like that helps you, be not say feel better, but I feel like you feel like you should be doing that.
It makes me feel like kind of not whole, but it makes me feel like feels a
you know how good it was for you. You don't want other people to miss out on that.
Exactly.
And it's 100%
exactly,
true.
Dude.
Yeah.
Because it was an eye opener, dude. Yep. It's just a walk in. I feel so fucking good about myself, so confident. Like I'm walking into a room, This is my fucking room.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna notice me too whenever I walk in.
Yeah, that energy's received very quick.
Oh, it is.
And it's an important energy too.
And it makes you feel alive. So whenever I see somebody down, feeling down, I'm like, I'm not gonna give you that soft, heartfelt talk. I'm like, bro, come on.
No, bro. I'm telling you, yeah.
It's not being a dickhead either. It's like, man, come on, you got that shit in you. Now, the one thing that it is hard to, people come to me advice all the time about breakups and stuff like that. I'm like, look, there's nothing I can tell you that will help make you feel better. Breakups suck. Breakups do suck. I'm telling you, give it time. Time is the best healer of all.
Oh, relationship talk, crazy. I got good advice for people in relationships too.
My relationship talk advice for people. You don't want to hear it. Dude.
Bro, look.
They don't want to hear it.
So look, my advice, look, I'm single. I'm happily single. It's just, when you're happy with yourself, then you'll find happiness with other person the right way. You know what I mean?
You got to share your happiness. That's what we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
Share. You have to be happy at first, and then that person has to be happy, and you share that happiness with each other.
Yeah, and that is such a big part of it, man. We've all done it. We talked to someone when we weren't happy with ourselves, and that person made us feel better about ourselves, and so they became more of a crutch than a solid addition. It was a crutch, something you could lean on whenever you needed that confidence booster, which makes those breakups trash, whatever. But what I tell people whenever they break up, some people maybe they use that as a crutch or whatever. This is the advice I give them, because this is what helps me get through almost anything in life. This realization literally changed my life. Whenever you feeling that gut feeling when something drastic happens and it changes, and you just feel like you weren't expecting it, it turns your world upside down, and you're in a hole. You're just mentally, physically, emotionally, you just feel like in a hole. The best thing you can ever do is figure out how do you step outside of your body for a second? How do you step away from that feeling for just a second? Take a deep breath, and this is what I do every time. Just tell yourself, that's how I'm supposed to feel. That is how I'm supposed to feel in this situation. That is the first step in getting over it. I'm supposed to feel this way. Mm-hmm. And it's going to get better because I'm supposed to feel
Embrace
this
your
way.
feeling. Embrace your feeling.
Oh, man, this sucks. No, it does suck. It's supposed to feel this way. Let's keep it pushing.
Oh, it's going to suck.
Bro, and I'm telling you, that realizing that instead of being like, I can't believe I feel this way, dog. This sucks. Yep. Man, I can't. Man, she broke my heart. I broke her heart. I cheated. She cheated. Whatever it might be. I'm sick. I never wanted to lose her. She probably with somebody. Whatever weird thoughts.
I got something different about the cheating. The cheating thing.
Make sure you feel that. Maybe you understand that.
The cheating thing. Let me tell you something. I would never in my life go back to somebody who did that. Never.
I don't think you should unless you built for that.
I ain't no built for it.
No, I'm saying people who go back, you better be built for what has changed now. You know what I'm saying?
Too much change. And I don't look. I know a lot of people and they've been in relationships for like a few of my friends back in college, even in high school. But I'm one of those people, nicest person you ever meet, but I am the most unforgiving person you have ever met in your life. And if you do one thing to wrong me, and it's not just wrong, if you dishonor my trust or loyalty, you are out.
Dunzo.
Like you are never coming back into that circle, especially the cheating aspect. Before we get carried away with the relationships, it'll take us another fucking 2 hours.
I know.
Ooh.
I do. I didn't know if you wanted to. Now, I do want to touch on what me and my artist got going on.
Yeah, let's hear it, man. All right, tell us what GOA stands for.
Gang of Alcoholics.
Gang of Alcoholics.
GOA.
I told him that's a derogatory term. It's sober phobics.
So, yeah, man, it stands for Gang of Alcoholics. So I do a lot of my producing for 91 Thompson. I produce all his music. He's a crazy good artist. We're actually now just blowing up on TikTok. Our stuff is going crazy. We actually just dropped the deluxe version of our mixtape, which is Mango Malibu. Deluxe Last Call. It's all good vibes. We got some really, really cool features on there. People you may not have heard of, but they're all super talented and up and coming. We got Kate on there. We've got Don Lewis. We've got a guy from J Riz. They're from Texas. And it's just been a blast. Gang of Alcoholics. We actually have our website where you can get GOA merch. And for every purchase, money is donated to the Mavericks Foundation. That helps, I think, women and children get supplies for whatever they need. And I got to look a little bit more into like what's changed, because I think we're actually donating to other stuff now too. I may be wrong, but we have a website, 91nswaymerch.com. That's just literally the number 91, letter N, and then swaymerch.com. SWAYMERCH.com. You can go get a whole bunch of stuff on there.
We'll drop a link down in the bio too.
Oh yeah, dope. Yeah, so it's been super dope. I mean, everybody loves drinking. Most people love drinking. You know what I mean? So Gang Alcoholics is kind of like, come on.
How'd the name come up? How'd you come up with the name for that one?
So actually, 91. So dang, and the way everything happened was crazy. But 91 already had GOA, and he had a different logo for it. And it was Gang Alcoholics, and it blew up. So he blew up in East Texas before I ever met him. But he got into, I'll let him tell the story. He kind of just got away from music, didn't know how to handle what was going on, because he blew up. Like he was doing parties and stuff, and he got away from it, and then he came back, and me and him ended up linking up once I moved from Baton Rouge to Texas. And he was like, yeah, I just, one of these things blew up when I was in East Texas, and I kind of want to start it again. And I was like, what was that? And he was like, GOA. And I was like, what's that stand for? And he's like, Gang Alcoholics. And I'm like, count me in. I'm already GOA. I didn't even know it. You know what I mean? And I was like, wait, if I felt that way after I said that, I'm pretty sure other people would feel that way. And so he already had Gang of Alcoholics into it. And so I designed the logos that we use now. And it's just been a thing. People buy the shirts, people enjoy it. Every time we go party, you know what it is. We're drinking alcohol. Responsibly. We're having a good time.
Responsibly.
As responsible as we can get. And, it is what it is. It works. It works, and it's fun.
Well, my boy.
Hey, man.
I tell you what. You ready to go party a little bit?
Oh, is that what we're finna go do?
I think so.
I think we should go
what is
party.
It, Wednesday night?
I think we need to go do that. Ain't nobody got to wake up early in the morning.
No, they don't.
People who got to be in the kitchen. It ain't going to be me. I ain't got to do it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to go rekindle some old partying vibes.
No, maybe old partying for you. I've been partying.
Oh, cuz, what you talking
about?
Come
on, man.
Look here
you
now.
Gotta show me something.
Look here now.
You got to show me something.
I'm always ready to go to the beach. I'm always ready to go party.
I love it. I appreciate you having me on, man. I was
This ain't going to be the last time.
I was wondering when I would come on here. We got a lot to talk about.
We could do multiple episodes.
We got a lot to talk about.
We could sit here for 10 hours.
I know we could.
Easily.
I know we had to cut this one off.
This kid, let me tell you something. I'm not going to call him kid. I'll say kid. My brother right here.
Respectfully.
Has been doing these beats. He made me one back in high school, an old school beat.
Oh, I did.
He did.
Jesus.
Let me tell you something. This dude right here is going to be the next big thing. So you remember the name. Check out GOA, Swayzee Beats, 91. I got to meet this cat too, man.
Oh, yeah, man. We got to come down here. We got to come party. I've been telling them.
Might take me a little flight up to Dallas, too.
Yeah, man. Damn it, Swayze on Instagram. DAMMIT SWAYZEE on Instagram. 91. Is it _ Thompson? 90. You just search 91 Thompson on Instagram, and then 91 and Sway on TikTok. We upload 2-3 times a week. He does crazy freestyles.
I just made a TikTok, man.
Did you?
I've been having fun with that motherfucker.
Bro, it's toxic. It's toxic. You start making stuff.
I just made that son of a bitch too, man.
Go check us out. And look, the vibes, all good vibes. Come have fun. That's all we care about. Have fun. Enjoy the music. And just vibe with us. That's what we do.
Rock and roll, baby.
That's what we do.
Rock and roll with it.
I appreciate it.
This is Unwoken. I'm Scott Davis. That's Darian May, a.k.a. Swayzee Beats.